those who know me well, you know I like to tinker. I'm a tinkerer, not a Tinkerbell. Let's keep the record straight for you jackasses who can't seem to find the lines. Because clearly you don't drive between the right set of lines at any time based on my information. And the safest spot for a biker to be riding in traffic, my experience has been, unless there's a median or other things that prevent it, right down the fucking middle. You get to see them coming and going better. Otherwise, you're gonna get clipped. These people aren't paying attention. How you can get behind the wheel of a deadly weapon, like a vehicle, and not use your head and look both ways when you're making turns or adjustments, and you just assume the world's supposed to pay attention. Or your daydream believing, or where the hell your moon is in Uranus, because it's certainly not focused on the road in front of you. A lot of times. Is whatever else you're obsessing with all that mighty and important that it's worth risking your life and someone else's in the blink of an eye? Not only does he who blink first loses, but also creates a lot of other losers with him. Your pomposity, your arrogance, your assuming. Ask you me. I not play ass, I play you me. I don't assume, I work in fact, I work in statistics, logistics, research, development, sciences, technology. Blast to my ears, wow. I've been using sound blasters in my tinkering and other firmware devices that take your normal speaker that people go, well, that's louder, that's okay, or whatever, and I've jumped them by more than 200%. Now, there's so many variables in doing that. One, it's got to be the right ear you can do that with, otherwise it just gets crappy quickie. And also, when I say right material, it also records, it's the quality of the recording, how the original recording was done. Can it sustain that type of boosting? Because it will boost any artifacts incredibly loud. And so if there was any baseline distortion or other distortions that you wouldn't have normally picked up on, or improprieties, they can become nerve-wrackingly obvious. But with most decent recorded material, I can certainly push it 120 to 160%, and on really finely recorded material. You got to be careful even with rock concerts, because while they sound amazing when you put on boosters, because some of that stuff is running so damn hot in concert, they're probably doing similar technologies, and others I know of too, to just blast it through brick walls. It can have a deafening and mortifying effect if you're not careful. So you really want to make sure it's tested properly. The audio and video things that are the variables, just like life. You understand them and how they can impact it, so you don't make wrong decisions haphazardly. Again, part of the lesson of life. Assuming, as you me. I'll be you or me, I won't be the S. If I'm S, it's because you set me up to be the S in the situation. Because you're such a jackass, you can't see through the reality of the truth. You see through your veiled umbrella of dysfunction, perceived torture, your own fake illusion. What I've prided myself on from day one of doing news and entertainment so many years ago, and have maintained as status quo, is that I look for stories that others are afraid to take on. Unique stories that others may not want to take on, or can't take on. Of relevance to the greater whole, not self-serving. Christ Jesus, none of these have been self-serving. They've been dangerous as hell. Because when you're digging in where others fear to go, fear, that over-wasted emotion that dictates so much of society. Fear of God, fear of war, fear of the bad guys. If we keep them in fear, intelligence, wow. Intel, keep them thinking it's everyone else but us. Intelligence, today's intelligence, is sophisticated at propaganda and counterintelligence and proliferation of unmitigated horseshit, guilty of being used for self-righteous or selfish or malicious goals, usually used when you're trying to communicate effectively with the masses or individuals. If you knew what I knew, would you dare even try to tell it all? Because it's so complicated. You can make the same. Make the genius seem like a babbling idiot. At some point you can say, fuck it, put it all out there, and those who can get it will, those who can't won't. Then when you reflect even deeper, put it out there in so many ways. And verifications, proofs that are researchable, and messages that can be figured out by those who need to. And so much intelligence that I've used to help against counterintelligence and covert intelligence. Within reason, because I do have my responsibilities too to those beyond the intelligence community, to those humanitarians and architects of time and master plans and all the rest. It's a fine line, like many things in life. The split second can make a difference, literally. Like good improv or good news delivery. It's about the timing, the emphasis, the selection of words that make it different from being average or superfluous bullshit to being iconic. Genius isn't given any more than ignorance is given. There's a base level for intelligence before within ranges. People deteriorate on base levels based on drugs, medications, deteriorations, inadequacies in diagnosing in time and getting into preventative action, being able to forecast, wanting to forecast, forecasting for those who choose to, and all the rest, well, they're just sheep anyway. The fact of the matter is, those are judgmental decisions that those people shouldn't be making in the first place. If you get this new thing that's so great, why isn't it shared for the whole? Why is it kept for the few? And the rest are the guinea pigs for any other science product that you're trying to force into a marketplace. They're selfish gains. Boards of directors at those type of companies aren't paid on healing. If you honestly think a drug company is going to give a shit whether you heal or not, you better wake up to the almighty buck, Chuck, because you're going to get stuck. It's for those of us who are proactive in our minds, integrity, health, nutrition, purity, whatever, that become more expert at what we do. We all had those same accesses to information if we had reached out for them. But we get so stuck with, doctor, give me another pill, or so-and-so made me a victim, or heal me. There's whatever excuses or rationales you want to develop to justify the end result. But within the gap of a 24-hour day and X amount of days in a month and a year and X amount of birthdays and X amount of whatever, at some point you do have to accept responsibility for your part in it. You were educated to a certain level and then they gave up on you and you gave up and shit happened or whatever. At any point you can hit the reset button, sheeple. At any point you can start over and blaze a new trail. I have been known as being someone who blazes trails that others will follow, being decades and in some cases centuries ahead of my time with technologies, developments, and innovations. These are not my words, these are words of others. Unsolicited truths. You can find them if you Google enough. Unless they buried that shit too. They've been burying all kinds of stuff that would verify anything I say. But, you know, I don't have time to keep undigging their digging. I just sometimes just do a massive reseed. And if there's repetition there, well, oh well, it must have been needed because it got lost in the tail herd. KISS, K-I-S, a new KISS. You can add another S, you can do whatever you want. You can add ing or ed or any other adjunct that is appropriate for you. What I'm suggesting is keep it simple. Not stupid, that's negative. The world will be negative enough for you. So why do you need to keep the ass-kicking machine on for it with the negative machine on for it? If you're surrounded by negative and you're in negative, unless you're feeling incredibly good about it, why do you stay in that shit? Why don't you make a move, bust a move? Now, if it continues to happen, you have to look at your shit because maybe that's part of the shit that's the problem. Could be an interface issue. In my case, mine is an interface issue because most people think I'm nuts, insane, or too secretive, or can't be trusted because nobody can be that honest. Nobody deserves that much. Nobody can be that smart. Nobody, really? Wow. So if the best thing in life happened to you and you had no idea, but something felt right, you would still throw it under a bus. Okay, got it. That's genius. Where do you guys come up with this shit? You don't even trust your own instincts. You gotta text someone, emoticode or whatever you do to communicate, pound on your fucking chest or talking psychobabble or needless bullshit. Why don't you take a wake-up pill? Look very deeply in the mirror and see what scares you. What fears you have or whatever else is not right. And fix those things first before you fix everything around you. Because if those glowing things that you can't even look at are that scary, you have a much deeper rooted problem to deal with before you should address anybody's health. Avoid where prohibited, restrictions apply, wake up, get a fucking clue. For those of you who are in the capacities of advising people, proceed with caution. Because all the bad advice you've given or malicious or reckless advice you've given is truly part of your karma. And whether you realize it or not will haunt you beyond a grave. So maybe you might want to rethink how you're stroking out prescriptions or ideas or doses or whatever, unless you're really being objective, honest, with integrity, compassionate, caring, and not enabling. Otherwise, go to a fucking meeting. Seriously, get a clue. No one's perfect, but we all like to put all these labels on it, and if it doesn't fit into this box, and they don't do this or that, and there must be something wrong with their screwy. They're nuts. Really? Well, if it's that goddamn simplified, then everybody on the motherfucking planet is nuts in some areas, if not several nuts up a short tree of Keebler Elves. I don't know. Sheeple, people, aliens, reptilians, androids, anybody who can understand or grasp this communication. Incoming! Time is moving faster than you perceive, even though there's the same amount of hours in the day. With technology, we can advance and do things in milliseconds that we're used to take in the past. And that's an overly simplified view of what I'm trying to exaggerate into your brain. And I can stretch it enough you might comprehend. I'm not being arrogant. I'm not being pompous. I'm being frustrated in some areas where our education and advancements have taken us ass backwards in manners, in proprieties, in civilization, in rights, wrongs, and hopeless bullshit. Why would any populace forget whose fault it is? Russians, Americans, black people, white people, upside down people, dickheads. Why would any populace that intends to continue on in a prosperous manner for the whole, what is it for the few? Subconsciously, the few, just us. Just us. Just us. Just us who can afford it. That justice? Fuck all of that bullshit. How about just us for everyone across the board? How about we level the playing field and no longer can public pretenders get their money from the resources of the attorney who's prosecuting, who can say yay or nay? No, get him to get plea. We're not spending that money. Go to trial. Fuck him. Her. It. Make it happen. It's your job. It's your civic duty. Speed this thing up. Brush it up. Slow it down. You can't talk out of all sides of your ass crack and not sound like you're just a farting piece of shit. I'm sorry. Did I take that to a too graphic of a mode for many of you detourers? Tell you what, take a break. Come back when you're ready for more.